Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of redoing my Beamer, E30 Beamer rear suspension. The last episode we figured out we need some top mounts. It's supposed to look like this, with this nipple on it, see that? But the rust has had its way with it. In this episode we're going to try and grind this down to decent metal. Try to maybe even separate these two layers. As you can see, there's two layers right there. Try to see if we can get that top layer off, or I guess it's the bottom layer off, without having to go too intense with the grinder. There's two layers, as you can see here. There's two layers of plate. There's one that holds the that kind of reinforces on the side, which we don't need to worry about, and then there's this, which we do have to worry about because we need to get it off and then have the new perch placed up on there. So we're gonna try and grind this back to some, so we could see bare metal and then go from there. So my plan is I already cut some plates out. My plan is to cut some plates out and weld it on here with a nipple. Use I guess all the tricks in the book that I can muster up to get a plate on here. So I got a fresh grinder on the old Wisconsin, and we're gonna go take a crack at it. Yeah, the grind disc was a little too aggressive, so I'm gonna try this wire wheel. Alright, so I grounded back some here, and you can see there's these little divots in it where I think it's been sort of spot welded. So my first attempt at this is I'm probably going to try and drill these out. So it's all around. I'm going to try and drill these out and then see if we can chisel it off. You see, I tried chiseling a little bit here. So I got the first few holes drilled through. That's a 11/64 bit. I don't know if you can tell there, but I've gone through the first layer and just nicked the top. Alright, so my hands are fucking tired. So we've got the oh fuck. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh damn. Oh my god. Show this. So I got the holes drilled out. I'm gonna take a chisel right in between these two pieces of metal, chip away at it. I tried earlier just to see what would happen, and that top metal kind of wrinkled on me. So after a lot of hammering, trial and error, got the first rivet popped off, as you can see. Alright, so I'm out of breath, but I've gotten much further on there. What I've done is, yeah, you can see I've pried it sort of back. That kind of helps. As you can see here, it started to tear the top, but that's alright, like I explained earlier.
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently.
Alright, got the last one off. Just wanted to show you the fucking satisfaction that it's going to be to pry this one off. And there it is. I was going to use this as a template for drilling the holes out, but seems like a lost cause at this point. But you can see how thin the metal got. Alright guys, got a little ahead of myself here. Ground up insulation, or not insulation, idiot. Rubberized coating off, and revealed some spot welds. Drilled those out, and now I'm chiseling it off the reinforcement here, and so that we can get a better idea of what we need to do when we put everything back together. Plus, it will help us clean the back side of this, so we're not, leaving rust in that little edge in there where we can't get a grinder or wheel in there. So it's gonna be all right. I'm staying positive, guys. It's not hard, but somebody's gotta do it. All right, guys, took this plate off, and obviously this is not ideal, right? I mean, you don't want any rust at all. This is not good at all. And I do have some 16 gauge plate that I took off, or I bought at Home Depot. I'm going to attempt to recreate this and the bottom side. Alright guys, so I got my template. So like that's how it's gonna sit, kind of, on this top side, and then on the bottom side it's gonna be as such. I got a little bit more carried away. I cut that metal out. Where'd it go now? Here it is. I cut that metal that was in there out. Alright, so I got my, sorry for the noise, I got my heater on just to keep it a bit warm. It's pretty cold today. 16 gauge, I'm going to try 16 gauge first. I don't have 18, I only have 22 or 16. Alright, so I got my relief cuts in there for the fold, and I used the straight edge to place it right on there, and there's the amount that I cut off. Alright, so first test fit, you can tell it's a little bit too big, just the width of it. Let's trim it up. We know where we need to trim, basically. So let's trim that up and then we'll get to it. Alright, so as you can see, there's a bit of, larger gaps here and there, but I think ultimately this is pretty much the final. Maybe a bit of tweaking where you can see this is kind of this panel here, this upright one, is kind of inward, so I'm gonna pull that out. This underneath here, right on this line, it's a little skewed. Guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button. Trying to get to 100 subs by the end, by summer, hopefully. Even by the end of the year, it'll be amazing. So hit that like button, subscribe, put on the notifications, and we'll do stuff like this. Couple more tacks here. I'm gonna call it a night. Come back to it in the morning. Fresh eyes, fresh rest. Fresh rest. Fresh rest. Yeah, fresh rest. Oh God. Went from a plate like this. I cut it out, cleaned it off, used a step bit and Dremel to cut the hole out. It's a little bit off center, but it'll do for our application. It's about like 2 mil. Welded up that top, the perch to the top. When I put my reinforcement in, the OEM one, there's something in there just kind of as a safety precaution, but yeah. Okay, got a little ahead of myself again. Welded this, booger welded it up, and yeah, I'm gonna clean it up with a sanding disc here. And yeah, I'm gonna clean it up, primer it, and then put the seam sealer specifically around the edges and all the spots and stuff like that. Really cake it on there. As you can see, it's pretty thick on, you know, this is the OEM stuff, so I'm gonna go very liberal all the way at the bottom as well. Alright, so I'm putting my spring back in. So I'm putting my spring back in. I had to trim my, I don't know if you can see, but I had to cut my my compressors, spring compressors short, because since this is such a small form, like look at my hand, it's basically the span of this spring. It's such a small format that that long threaded bolt was just, you know, it's made for a bunch of sizes, so it was a little too much for this, and it would interfere with the lower control arm. So I've got the spring assembled. I got the sway link in there, and I've coated the area with some rubberized undercoating. It looks brown because it is brown. It turns black. It turns black once it cures. So, all right. So it's been a day or so. Finally put it on the ground, and it's probably about 1.5 inches extra height. So I've got the shock. You can see this sway links up here, and new springs and all that. And it's sitting a bit better. I mean, it's not great. I think it's settled a little bit since yesterday. Yesterday was much higher, but I'll take it, bruv. And yeah, I cut my hair. It's been pretty much all winter. Like this video, it's probably like 20, you know, under 20 minutes. But I started this mid-December last year, and it's April now, mid-April. So it took me a long time. Procrastination, cold weather, and da 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 da. But here it is. It's drivable. Put some tabs on it and take it on the road. Thanks for watching, guys. Check out the socials if you want to see pictures. If you're burning for updates, that's usually where I put, you know, post a couple of pics in that. And if you don't know, I also have a 1961 Renault Dauphine that I've gotten recently, and a bunch of different cars, Lexus GX, Audis. Under here is a VR6 6-speed Jetta. And I think it's an 03, so we're gonna be digging into that. Kind of high miles. I think it's like 182,000, but it was $300. So anyway, guys, check out the socials. Put them in the description, or you could go to my channel page. But yeah, the E30 is gonna be perfect this summer, and look forward to working on it and all that stuff. So check you out in the next one.